Welcome back to your Yankees Latest. I'm your host, John Laloggia. Yanks lose 2 out of 3 to the Astros. Embarrassing fashion. Altuve absolutely destroyed us the entire series. Hit his 250th home run on Sunday. Yankees lose today lose on Sunday 7-1. Really not even close. They're just completely outmatched. Altuve, 19 homers against the Yankees, including the postseason, and 9 at Yankee Stadium. Fried did not pitch great today. Just didn't have it. Alexander for the Astros was fantastic. 6 shutout innings. Just not great. And I think obviously the Yankees are struggling right now, but I think it's larger than that. I think Boone has to go, but I'm just concerned that he's not going to. This team sucks, and they're absolutely lifeless, and they got beat by a better team today. So let's recap for you. So they lose 2 out of 3. Game 1 on Friday. It's tied 3-3. And they end up losing Game 1 5-3. But it's how they lost. So if you go through the game, they go into extras, and Williams just does not have it at all. I don't know why you're bringing him in to another high leverage situation after the whole Texas debacle and basically how his season's been all year. You just can't bring him into that game. But Boone does, and he blows another game. He can't locate. He gives up a go-ahead single to Carlos Correa to make it 3-2. And then, it's just he gives up an absolute bond to Taylor Trammell on a hanging changeup that, honestly, no one is fooled on that changeup. Nobody. And I just can't believe you brought him into another high-leverage situation. He cannot pitch in another high-leverage situation again for the rest of the season. He just can't. And Sunday he throws a scoreless inning of relief, but I really do not know what Boone is doing. I think this is a fireable offense. He said Bednar was overworked, which is true, but there's other guys in the bullpen that could have pitched. And the fact that he keeps going to Devin Williams, it's at this point it's weird. I don't get it. And obviously it isn't working because they continue to lose games. So they lose Game 1 5-3 in terrible fashion. They almost lose on Saturday, 5-4, but Bednar was able to, solidify that game. But it was close. It was really, really close. And obviously Bednar is good, but you need a lot out of him. He pitched a bunch of innings before, and then Saturday an inning and 2/3, 2 strikeouts, no earned runs. He was great, but it's a lot of pressure for him. And then on Sunday they get smoked 7-1, which is you're really relying on Fried to be your stopper, and he just hasn't been. He's gone on kind of a rough patch, and that's part of it as well. 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs. 8 hits is a lot in 5. Gave up a home run, 3 Ks. So, unfortunately, this brings me to the biggest issue, which is Aaron Boone. He needs to go, but he won't. The reason he won't is because he's protecting the front office who hired him, and that's the arrangement. He's not going to – as long as Brian Cashman is the general manager, Aaron Boone isn't going anywhere. He just got a 2-year extension before the year started. There are people at Yankee Stadium wearing garbage bags over their heads or brown paper bags over their heads saying, "Fire Boone." The other day, I think on Saturday, usually they announce the manager before the game. They give the lineups and stuff. And they didn't announce his name at home because he was just going to get mercifully booed, which I think is so embarrassing and indicative of where people are with Aaron Boone. It's not just they're losing, it's how they're losing. It's his decisions. They just don't make sense. They don't even make sense with conventional wisdom. And his press conferences are absolutely embarrassing and it's horrible. It's almost like he's living an alternative reality with like, oh, this team's great and we have the pieces, but like you keep losing games and also you keep making decisions that aren't working out. Like you're not learning, you're not optimizing from your mistakes. He keeps making the same mistakes. That is a problem. And he's not having tough conversations with these players behind closed doors. But this is who the front office wants to be the manager. You can't come down on these players anymore. You can't yell at them. That's not Boone's style, and I don't think he's doing it behind closed doors. And they had Old Timers Day, and they asked Posada, what would you tell this team? How would you turn this around? And he goes, you can't be everyone's friend. You got to have tough conversations. You can't be everyone's friend out there. You need to step on people's necks and get serious. And this team isn't. And it's because they don't have a serious manager. But as long as the front office is there, Fishman, Cashman, he's not going anywhere. And unfortunately, he's just going to continue to get beat. I think you could salvage this season. I think this team is talented enough if you got rid of Boone and Ausmus took over. But that's not going to happen because that's not who they want. That's not who Hell wants running the team. That's not who Brian Cashman wants running the team. And, I seem a little bit almost defeated, but we keep seeing the same stuff. So, and expecting things to change. It's not. Everything's going to stay the same as long as Cashman and Boone are both there. And it's sad because this team has a ton of talent, and you're wasting a generational talent in Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge doesn't win a World Series during his tenure with the Yankees. That is an abomination. That is a failure. The coaching staff, the front office, ownership. You don't win a World Series with Aaron Judge. I don't care what his postseason stats are. This guy's maybe the greatest hitter in Yankees history, arguably. And you have 0 World Series to show for it. This team is imploding. And it's because there's no leadership at the top. And unfortunately, it's not going to change. I'm sorry, but it sucks. And it sucks to watch, but we have to be honest. We're not going to be like Boone and say, oh, everything's fine. We're good. It's like, no, everything's not fine. And we're seeing the same stuff. Like, you're crazy. You're crazy if you think things are fine, because they're not. Latest injuries and transactions. Ahmed Rosario, unfortunately, has a left joint sprain. He crashed in the left field wall the other day. He expects to miss a little bit of time. Fernando Cruz, unfortunately, left oblique strain, August, September. But, hopefully back, relatively soon. Yarborough, that guy needs to come back today. 15-day IL, sometime August and September. He faced live batters a couple days ago. Want to push him to 50 pitches. Slater, left hamstring injury, placed on the 10-day IL. So still waiting to hear back on him. Loizaga, mid-back stiffness, probably sometime in a week or so. Expect to get him back. MRI was clean, so we'll see. It's just, God. Boone, man. Come on. Got to make a move. So they start a series with the Twins today. 3-game set at home against Minnesota. All-night game, 7:05 Eastern start. Should be a good one. But, there's some changes that need to be made up top, and I don't know if they're going to happen. We'll see how it goes. We're going to ride this roller coaster together. I'll be here every day this week for you to talk through it. And I appreciate all the support. Please like and subscribe. I'm John Laloggia. This is Yankees Latest. And I will see you after Monday night's game to recap it. Take care. Bye-bye.